Hi, I'm Devaney Freeman with thecustomeradvantage.com, and I'm here with the founder, John Milanowski, and we're going to talk about how to respond to common objections. The first question I have for John is, what's the best thing to tell a business that says to you that they only rely on word of mouth?
That's an excellent question. You know, so many businesses that I talk to today, especially, they're finding ways to kind of really stop spending money. And the reality is most of the marketing they've been doing has not been working. So when I hear that, when I hear someone say, I'm doing it through word of mouth, first of all, you can get excited about that because what we are is word of mouth, right? Mm-hmm. So you could really just say to them, that's fantastic. What if I told you that you could put word of mouth on turbocharge? Mm. You know, because that's essentially what we're doing. Mm-hmm. Think of it this way. We are an invitation-only site. It's word of mouth, people referring to other people. So when we get something that's promoted for the business, we're doing that for them at no cost to them. We're designing their web page, we're putting it all up in front of a large amount of people. And here's what happens. When you see something that you like, typically you're going to buy it. Mm-hmm. And if you see something that maybe doesn't appeal to you so much, you're going to want to tell other people about it because there's rewards in it for you. So for example, do you ride motorcycles?
No.
Okay, so here comes an email, comes into your mailbox, and you see it, it's for 50% off at the cycle barn in your area, and they're offering a 50% off a tune-up and some riding gear or something, some chaps or something like that. Mm-hmm. Well, you don't ride motorcycles, and normally if you saw an offer like that in a newspaper or a coupon of some sort, what would you do with that?
Wouldn't think twice about it.
Yeah, you might not even notice it, really. You just kind of skim by it. Mm-hmm. But in the customeradvantage.com, you're rewarded for sharing things. You're not really selling anything, but you want to give benefit to all your friends. Everybody wants to do that. So immediately you see it, and you may think, well, I don't ride motorcycles, so what do? You think of everybody you know that would ride motorcycles. And by the way, do you know any people that ride motorcycles?
I do.
Okay, well, most everyone knows someone that's going to do any type of offer, whether it's a haircut or tanning salon or fitness center, muffler shop, whatever. There's always somebody you know that's looking for something. Mm-hmm. So the thing is, you're not selling them, and they don't. There's no obligation on anyone you share it with. You know, there's no obligation for them to buy anything necessarily. But you just tell them about it. They go there and they sign up for free for the customeradvantage.com, and they go to the site. They see it, and if they buy it, you get rewarded. They save 50%. They're totally happy.
Wow.
But the cool thing is that business owner just had you promoting them. Mm-hmm. So what's better than that? All of a sudden, if they have 10,000 people out there seeing this offer and promoting them on a day, they're getting more promotion that day than they probably had in the last 5 years, and it's all free for them. So that's a pretty cool deal. So,
yeah, best word of mouth I've heard of.
Yeah, so hopefully, does that answer your question?
Yes,
okay.
Yes, thank you. So the next question, what do you tell a business that says that they don't feel like they have a big enough margin to offer as big of a discount as they need to for our site?
Yeah, that's another thing too. I hear that quite a bit, and it's because really thinking in the wrong aspect of your business. It's like thinking of business as a transactional process. In other words, I get a customer in, I make a sale, and I'm never going to see them again. In that equation, it doesn't really work. You know, you can't spend $100 to have a customer come in and only spend $50 and never come back again, mm-hmm. because that's a problem. So the fear could be real there for some businesses, but the reality is that if they are in business for the long term, then they understand the value of a customer, and they're helping to keep happy customers because they keep coming back. So really what it comes down to is thinking of it in terms of the long term. So remember the equation we talked about before where you give me $1 and I give you $1.20 back? Mm-hmm. Well, bottom line is when you understand that equation, you're going to do that over and over again. And that's what we're talking about here. So we sit down with the business owner and we say, well, how much does a customer spend when you get a new customer? How much do they spend when they come in on average? Mm-hmm. So if it's $50, then the next question is, how many times does a customer come back and visit you over a year? Mm-hmm. If they come back for a year and they spend $50 and they come back 10 times in that year, they're worth $500. So the value to the business is $500 per customer. So if you spend $100 to get a value of $500, well, that makes total sense, doesn't it? Mm-hmm. And that's what we do. We give businesses an absolute set cost per customer, guaranteed, mm-hmm. every single time for the same price. And they have a new customer. Now it's up to them to take care of and make that customer happy, and make sure that they become a long-term customer for them. So does that answer your question?
Yes,
Okay.
thank you. So my last question is, what do you say to a business that expresses that they feel like they couldn't handle the amount of business that they would get?
That's another excellent question. Well, first of all, we work really closely with the businesses. We sit down with them right up front, and we really identify what they can handle, with their input, and we're looking at their resources and their capacity and so on. And we design a program. Our program is not designed to overwhelm a business so much. This is going to be a win-win for everyone. So our goal, we will definitely expose the business that we promote to all of our subscribers in their area, and they set the cap on how many they sell. So, for example, if we have 100,000 subscribers in an area, obviously if a business sells, they're doing a promotion that costs them $100 to promote, well, you could do the math there. I mean, 100,000 people buy it that day, and it costs them $100 times 100,000. That could add up pretty heavy and pretty quick. So the reality is, we sit down with the business and we identify what they can handle, and we set the limit. So whether that's 500, 1,000, or 5,000, we put a cap on that, and that's in part of the terms there when we promote the site. And they'll be promoted to the full 100,000 people that are subscribers in that area, if that's the case there, and there'll be a cap there, so they get the full exposure. And that's pretty cool, because just think of it this way: if you were to mail out 20,000 postcards, how much would it cost you?
Quite a bit.
Yeah, it'd be 50 cents a piece, just rounded off. It's $10,000. And where do most postcards end up?
In the trash.
Yeah, so we're going to put the business owner for free in front of a large amount of people. But not only that, when that email comes across, you're expecting it, aren't you? And you're going to open it and look at it. So you definitely get viewership, and not only that, everybody looks at it and they want to promote it. So all the way around, it's a great thing, but the business owner can absolutely cap the number of sales that they're going to have, and we make sure that it works. Now, the other thing to think about too is that not all the sales that happen that day are going to come in the next day. If you do 5,000 sales, not everybody's going to show up the next day. What will happen is you might get a bulk of them in the first couple weeks, and then it'll kind of taper off, and maybe a couple hundred or whatever the next following weeks, and it just kind of over time, because when they buy the deal, it doesn't have to be redeemed that day. They have up to a year to redeem it. So the nice thing about that too is that the business owner actually gets paid all of that up front. And that brings up another good point. It's another thing that you may run into is some business owners, again, when they say, I can't afford it, they may be looking at it from a cost perspective up front. And here's the reality of it. For a $100 item, an item that retails for $100, we're going to sell it at $50. And the CustomerAdvantage.com and the business are partnering on that one deal, and so they're splitting the revenue. So the reality is that business owner is going to come up with $25 out of that $100. So in their mind, they may be thinking, I can't afford to do that. But the reality is they're already spending that money.
Right.
If you're doing any type of marketing, it's costing you somewhere. And not only the cost of the marketing, which you don't know what the return is going to be, but also when you market, don't you normally offer some type of a special, a discount or something to bring people in? So by the time you factor all that in, it's going to cost you money. The difference is we give a guaranteed customer at that set cost. So again, it's a matter of identifying exactly what the package that's going to work for them, what's the value of the customer, structuring it in a way that works for everybody, and just moving forward from there.
Great. Well, thank you, John. Some awesome, valuable information. Stay tuned for more soon.